Okay, now you've created your epub file, and what we want to open this with is a program called Sigil. Sigil is a basic text editor, an HTML editor, and it's wonderful for creating ebooks, and this is the file you would actually use when you need to go back and make changes. Once it's in this epub format, it's a lot easier to work with than going back through Word and re-exporting everything. So just keep in mind that this epub file and using Sigil is how you're going to edit your files later on. So we're just going to open it, and you could get an error message like this. It's going to try to fix the files. Just say yes. Okay, and this is what Sigil looks like. Over here you have each content or each chapter of your ebook. Right now the default, if you notice these two greater than and less than signs, it's showing you the ebook in HTML code. To look at it just normal text, click the book button, book view, and as you can see we're on the title page. It looks a little different than the last time you saw it, but we're going to fix that up with some creative styles a little later on. So just click through this and take a look. You can see your first paragraph is not indented, and that's the way we wanted it, and your other paragraphs are indented. So each section is a chapter of the book. Each one of these is created by the page break that was in Word. And if you remember from your Word document, this quote was actually centered on the page. Well, there's no page on e-readers, so we're going to have to fix this later to center it on a screen. So we'll come back to that. And here's chapter 1, no indented paragraph on the first one, which is great. Chapter 2 had some strike through text, and that looks good. It looks like it transferred over okay, but you want to check that sometimes because you may have to change that later in Sigil. But it looks like everything transferred over okay. One thing the writer to epub does is it creates an extra content file, and it just puts their logo in there, and you don't want that in your ebook, so just go ahead and right click that and delete it. All of your images stored, which I don't think you have any yet. You don't have a cover image, but if you click that images, you'll see that JPEG of the logo we were just looking at. Go ahead and remove that too. Okay, so to create the table of contents and to fix the chapter headings, you're going to have to go through each chapter and set up the headers. Basically, you just highlight it and hit the H1 button, which is the header 1. You could use header 2, header 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you like. These are all built into Sigil. What I do is just set it to H1, and then I go into my styles. This is where the CSS comes in. CSS is kind of modifies HTML to make it look pretty. H1 is the header. So all of these functions within the brackets are what makes up what your header 1 looks like. And we're going to come back and edit that later. Since you're matching this book to a previous writer that did the epub, we're going to look at his styles and make sure that we're copying them over so that we're using the same thing to make these two books look alike.